In today's episode, we'll show you 4-week-old gel nails and gel infills. And we'll show you how to do infills with different gels, for example, jelly or self-leveling gel.
Hi, I'm Connie, and this is a channel dedicated to the art of nail styling. We'll be talking about how to deal with weeks-long nail growth, gel infills, and which type of gel is best to use in particular cases. Enjoy the episode.
The products and tools we'll be using are the Indigo Style Bit number 2, Indigo Cuticle Bit number 15, Indigo Cuticle Bit number 9, the 180 to 220 buffer, 100 to 180 file, and the gel brush number 4. A cuticle pusher, Master Nail Art 006 and 007 brushes, acid-free primer, perfect base gels, SL110 in natural, milky pink jelly, SL70 in porcelain, cover pink, tip top.
Getting gel infills is the most popular treatment at a nail salon. Yes, it's a fact that we can strengthen our natural nails with protein base and wear them extended outside the fingertip. However, if we're dreaming about longer nails, or our client has a very expressive character and always catches her hand on items or hits things with her nails, or does something to the extensions, well, then it's best to go for a gel product. As nail techs, we need to ask ourselves which gel to pick to make doing infills go quickly and smoothly.
As standard nail protocol, we start our work by disinfecting our hands, putting our gloves on, and disinfecting our model's hands. The model presents a state after 4 weeks of nail growth. We can see that the product is at a considerable distance from the cuticles. We need to do the infills and apply a new gel polish layer.
While we're at it, we'll also show you the hottest shade of 2022. It's raining on the catwalks of the biggest designers, and that's right, it is also our latest product. But first things first, we'll show you the infills and then we'll show you the shade.
We start by assessing the state of the nails. We check if the nails aren't cracked anywhere, if all of them require only an infill, and if any of them requires removing the whole product from the nail surface and applying a new overlay.
Our client has worn these nails for 4 weeks. There's a high likelihood that one of them has air pockets, is chipped, or even broken. Our task is to check and see if everything is fine. If something has happened along the way, we certainly can't ignore it. We need to remove the whole product from the surface of the nail and build a new overlay. Luckily, in this case, nothing bad has happened, and there's no need to start everything from scratch.
We pick up our Indigo Style Bit number 2 and start our work. Our model wants to have slightly shorter nails, so we start with filing them down with an e-file. Our stylist uses a speed of over 25,000 RPM and she'll be working from left to right. We file down all of the nails gently, keeping the e-file vertically. The handle of the e-file should be stable.
What can happen when you lack stability? Well, a disaster. Your hand may slip and the e-file will damage the nail plate. Remember that working with an e-file equals a huge responsibility. It speeds up the work, makes it more pleasant, but it has to be done mindfully. Our client will also feel more comfortable when she feels that your grip is strong and stable. When we know what we're doing, we control our body, and there are no random movements. You'll find an episode about how to work with an e-file on our channel. But please do bear in mind that it's only a demo episode. Learning how to work with an e-file over the internet is a pretty lousy idea. It's best to attend a training session supervised by a professional to learn how to speed up your work with this fabulous device.
The next stage is removing the shade from the apex down, area by area. We gently remove the old overlay and apex, which now, after 4 weeks, is not in the right place, and the center of gravity has been considerably moved. To remove the product at the sides and around the cuticles, we move our model's finger and work holding it from the side. Remember never to keep the e-file in one area for too long to avoid heating the nail. Such a technique is inappropriate and may cause prickling or even damage the natural plate if there's little left of the product. The Indigo Style Bit number 2 has a rounded head, and it allows to remove the product at the nail folds thoroughly and safely. We watch out and keep the e-file at a safe distance from the nail plate. We work only on the surface of the old gel polish product. At this stage, we move on to form the shape. We pick up a 100 to 180 file and create our desired shape. We also remove the remaining product around the apex.
So why did we divide the work into stages? First an e-file and then a regular file? The closer you are to the natural nail plate, the better it is to use a regular file. It gives us even greater control than an e-file. Remember, there are nail techs who do the whole product removal stage with an e-file. but these are real seasoned professionals with a ton of experience, and they know what they're doing. At the beginning of your career, it's better to stick to the old traditional methods. First, remove the product with an e-file and then move on to a regular file. Sooner or later, you'll arrive at the filing stage, even if it's only for shaping.
Using a 180 to 220 buffer to buff the surface of all nails, focusing on the growth area to buff the nail plate thoroughly where we'll be doing the infills. Once our nails are prepped, we push back the cuticles using a cuticle pusher. We're only focusing on the nail fold, we're not scratching the nail plate with a cuticle pusher, we work only on the cuticles. We pick up our cuticle bit number 9 and in a sweeping motion we remove the epithelium accumulated on the surface of the nail plate. We then set the e-file to 12,000 RPM and working from left to right. We work with each nail one by one. We change the bit to the cuticle number 15 to open the pocket at the nail fold.
Lifting the pocket under the nail fold allows us to place the gel polish there, so our regrowth will show much later. How does it work? We reach for the number 15 cuticle bit, we lift up the pocket as the cuticle skin gently rises, we place the gel polish in there, cure it, and when the cuticles move back to their original position, the product is already underneath. Thanks to this, the nail will appear fresh much longer.
Working with this bit makes things a lot easier, but you do need to remember to work carefully. We don't use force to push it under the nail fold. We're trying to check how much we can move with the bit and work parallel to the nail plate. Never direct it vertically to the nail plate, and then we gently cut off the white cuticles. Our moves should be steady. We remove only parts with the dead cells. We wipe our nail with a cotton pad soaked in wipe-off cleaner and we move on to apply our acid-free primer. We apply a thin layer of the product to the growth, applying a small amount of perfect base coat to all nails to the natural plate and rub it in with the help of the gel brush number 4. We start with the first nail. First, we'll show you how to work with the easiest gel according to our stylist. That is the self-leveling 110 gel in natural. We pick up a small drop of product and use the gel brush number 4 to create a slip layer on the whole nail surface. Then we pick up a slightly larger drop of the product, apply it to the growth and push it under the cuticles in a crescent shape and delicately, almost as if in the air, smudge the line between the growth and the remaining part of the nail. Even surfaces, we can even them out with the tip of the brush to minimize the need for filing. We cure it in the lamp for 30 seconds.
Are you familiar with the no filing gel technique? I'm sure you are, as it's really popular these days. And this gel, Self-Leveling 110, is ideal for this very technique. It's dense, but at the same time, self-leveling. It allows for a slower application of the product and levels out on its own and doesn't flood the cuticles, which is amazing, especially for beginners for whom that self-leveling time is so important. But what if, even after many attempts and much desire, we're still not able to get it quite right using self-leveling gels? Let's give jelly-based gels a try. Well, it may turn out that your heart beats a little faster for jelly, and you'll start working with it on a daily basis. Secondly, there are situations when jelly will make your job easier. For example, if we have air pockets and we need to remove the product, we'd end up with a hole in the construction. Then it's a lot easier to fill it in with jelly rather than a self-leveling gel. Of course, it's best to have them both and use them appropriately depending on the case you're dealing with, or according to your own preferences.
The technique you need to use with the gel is very similar. First, we apply a slip layer, then we spread a larger ball of product in a crescent shape at the cuticles and use a brush to spread the product down to remove the line between the growth and the free edge. Jelly products require slight buffing, for example with a buffer once they are cured. Similarly, they also require 30 seconds in the lamp. We move on to the third nail. We'll use the self-leveling 70 gel in porcelain. Again, we apply a thin slip layer along the whole nail. Then picking up a larger ball of product, we spread it at the cuticles in a crescent that will later spread along the whole nail towards the free edge. To decrease the need for filing, we use our 007 brush to even out the gel surface from the top and cure it in the lamp for 30 seconds.
At the beginning of our journey, a self-leveling gel and jelly are on two completely different ends of the spectrum, requiring different techniques. But with time and the more nails you work with, you simply start to treat them as extension gels. And sure, some of you may prefer the jelly or like the self-leveling gel more, but you'll be able to work with them both because you're a nail tech and you know how they both work. It's like with trousers, for example. Function-wise, they have one purpose, to be walked in, but we can either like our skinny jeans a bit better or our flares. It's a case of preference. It's the same with nail art products. We pick their properties according to our preferences and what makes our work easier. But over time, we can manage to work with all of them.
We're moving on to our last nail. We'll be working with Cover Pink gel, and that is the most runny among today's players. We spread a thin slip layer, pick up a larger portion of gel, not too big, to feel comfortable with our moves doing infills. We apply the product at the cuticles and spread it down the nail almost as if we were working in the air. We cover the growth line with short and quick motions up and down. We cure it in the lamp for 30 seconds. You can see a difference in how each of the gels covers particular nails. The middle nail is covered with jelly, and you can see that its surface is not leveled when you look at it from the top. But these uneven areas are inconspicuous. It's enough to use a file or a buffer. If it happens that there is too much of a product in some places, take a file and delicately file down the area to even out the gel surface. If you prefer working on a buffed surface when applying a gel polish, use a buffer, paying particular attention to the area around the cuticles that are already prepped.
You want to avoid any cuts. And here's our shade. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Blue Setter. It's a hue that has taken the catwalks by storm.
It's nothing like navy blue, blue or green, it's simply Blue Setter. Ideally saturated in a cool shade, something that you're willing to wear if you love colours but you're still swayed by the winter aura.
Or an ideal one if you want to get crazy in the summer but are not crazy on super wild colours.
I wore it for 4 weeks, it's wonderful and stunningly beautiful.
If we were to compare it to any other indigo shade that already exists, it's a little like Don't Call Me Ariel, but remember that Ariel is filled with particles and is slightly lighter, and Blue Setter, well, it's just one of a kind.
Before applying the shade, we wipe the nail plate with a cotton pad soaked in wipe-off cleaner. We spread the product on the nails, applying the first thin layer, leaving a tiny gap at the cuticles. Then we cure it in the lamp for 30 seconds. When applying the second layer, we spread the shade at the cuticles with a thin 006 brush and cure it in the lamp for 30 seconds. We cover our whole design with Tip Top and cure in the lamp for 60 seconds.
So, what do you think about Blue Setter? Let us know in the comments below, and I can't wait to see it on your hands and on your nails. And I'm looking forward to all your design ideas. That brings us to the end of our episode. Tell us what you think about the self-leveling gel 110 in the comments, or perhaps you've yet to try it. What about jelly? Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye.